Okay, so we live on YouTube now. Okay. When the music go on, you know we live Facebook. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ear to the Ground 197. I'm your host, Bryan Foley. We got a special Sunday afternoon edition going on, and we just want to welcome y'all for tuning in, and thank you for coming in on this Sunday afternoon. As you can see in the studio, I got my mains mans right here, Ryan Griffin in here. We're gonna chop up some things and see where we at in this political climate after today. And y'all know how me and Ryan do. We just come from off the cuff. We ain't got no pre-rehearsed script or anything like that. By the way, Brother Brown is out there already. Well, yeah, Brother Brown is out. Yeah, he out there already. Yeah. So Brother Brown reminded everybody to put on this Eric Brown to type into the comment box Y1, share and like. Y1, share and like. And the reason why I say Y1 because I believe in Ypsilanti first. I believe if you take care of home base first, everything else will come into play. So that's why I say Y1. And the reason why I say that once again is we take care of Ypsilanti first, but also it stimulates the algorithm of my program and the platform that I use. I'm using a Mevo camera, and I was telling Ryan before I came in here today that the program wasn't even up and running, man. I had to play with it, tweak with it and stuff like that, and it didn't click on until 3 minutes before Ryan came in the door. But like I said, we want to welcome everybody to the Ear to the Ground 197, which is brought to you by Blackstone Bookstore and Cultural Center, owned by my good friends, Kip and Athena Johnson. Athena's over in Croatia, man. Yeah, with Dames Brown. She over there overseas for real. And as well as Carlos and Andrea Franklin, owners of Blackstone Bookstore and Cultural Center. Also brought to you by Tracy Sweet Touch Productions, owned by my sister, Tracy Davis. And she always makes us gifts, treats, and stuff like that. We've been kind of a little slow on the giveaways from the summer and spring and stuff like that, but we're gonna pick right back up in the fall. And I got some personalized merchandise that I'm gonna have Tracy manufacture us and stuff like that. But like I said, this is Sunday. It's a beautiful day outside, but we got some things I think that's very important for us to talk about. Ryan brought the topic to me, and I'm gonna reciprocate and what have you, stuff like that. Before we do though, we've been attending the Rick Starr Presents the John E. Lawrence Jazz Concert Series. Brought to you by Rick Starr Financial, which is Richard Griffin, Ryan's older brother, man. And you've been down there at every concert. Yeah. Every concert you've been there, yeah, and stuff like that. What you think about it, brother? You know, get into it. You know,
oh, man, it's like asking Tito what do you think about the Michael concert. No,
right?
No, it's man. It's like I was telling you earlier, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a grown evening. You know what I'm saying? It's a grown evening. I mean, it's when I'm telling other people about it, I'm like, man, listen, everything is professional.
Mm-hmm.
The production is professional. The music is professional. The sound is professional.
Mm-hmm.
The videography is professional. Mm-hmm. The photography is professional. Even the layout. I mean, you walk in and you have food trucks all to the right. The vendors are all to the back, as we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. It's in a respectful nature. You have people with tents that's in the back that's being mindful of those sitting in front of them. And then it's spacious enough to mm-hmm. where people aren't on top of each other, but yet the crowd is sick. The crowd is crazy. The crowd is it's a nice crowd. I mean, people out there, man, on picnic blankets. Mm-hmm. People out there on their chairs. I mean, people just come out there, man, just have a good time. And what I like is that maybe because of the weather, but the last 3 weeks, the engagement of the crowd with the performers, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got people who just get up, go right, to the side of the stage, and everybody got their hustle on. Right. People in the back standing up and just appreciating the music. And then, when the young man that was before Lord Yancey, the week before. I mean,
wasn't Lynn Roundtree. That was Daryl Beebe.
I mean, this dude. I told somebody. I said, man, this dude was so. Mm-hmm. This dude was so good on the microphone. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't long-winded. He had his small jokes. He he knew how to talk to the crowd. Right. He played to the crowd, and it was just a great evening, man. Yeah. And so I've been loving it. I mean, I've been absolutely loving it.
Yeah, we've been really enjoying myself. Like you said, the artists, the relationships, and the respect they've been showing us. One of the things that was really touching to me, because people sometimes have a negative connotations when they're in public, in Ypsilanti, what have you. Mm-hmm. One thing that people told me was this right here: they feel safe and secure to be themselves, where they can just sit back in the pocket and enjoy the music, and they have to worry about and look around what was going on around them and what have you. And that was one of the things that I found that was very touching me, that you can free to be yourself and enjoy the music without having to look around wondering about if something was going to happen. Absolutely. Like that with security.
Absolutely. But and to that, I see a lot of the sheriff's office out there.
Yeah.
But they're not the presence isn't overwhelming.
Right.
The perimeter, mm-hmm. They back along the fences or outside. So it's like they're there, but they're not there.
Exactly.
And so it just starts. And another thing too, I gotta say this: mm-hmm. having things such as a trolley, mm-hmm. a shuttle, having things such as the golf cart service. There's a lot of older people there that can't get around like they used to. We have, their golf cart services taking people to and from. There's a handicapped parking lot. I mean, it's just so much of the intricate details that's gone into it. And that goes to the larger picture of the jazz concert series. It's small things like that just makes it that much better.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a big shout out to Sheriff Jerry Clayton, the Washington County Sheriff, and Golden Limousine, sister by the name of Maya, and that's where we got that trolley from. And then those golf carts that we have, that's extra spikes that was put on there by Ypsilanti Township and Brenda Stumple.
Brenda was actually upset.
Yeah.
She told me, she said, I used to have a 6-seater.
Right.
She said, but I didn't get my 6-seater.
Right.
I got a smaller one. So yeah, they better have her limousine golf cart next week, I guess.
Yeah, she did, right? So, yeah. And she had that, and Brenda actually was driving and picking folks up.
She was taking me around.
Exactly what I'm saying. This is the township supervisor. Yeah. I just got to put that out there. Yeah. But anyway, bro, Griffin, we in here this morning, man, because it's very few people who, and I'm serious about this when I say this, and I don't mean this like, who can call me up and say, bro, I need to get on the show, turn the TV on. We need to talk about some things. And you are one of those few people who can say, hey man, I need to get on the platform. Mm-hmm. And I say this because we have something to talk about with some dialogue, and where I say, okay, we're going to do it. And I say, well, when can you do it? And you say Sunday. So that's why we turn the TV on, turn the TV cameras on Sunday to accommodate you, because your voice is very relevant and very powerful and very knowledgeable and wise. But I titled this show, brother, The Aftermath. Okay. And the reason why I called it The Aftermath, and I thought about it after the fact, I looked up the word after I typed it, the aftermath. Aftermath means it's something that happens after a cataclysmic event, right? You get what I'm saying? And this was just after the primary election. But the aftermath is just counting up, see what happened after the fact. You know what I mean? And we just left from out of the primaries in here, and there was some it was some shocking to some folks as the results that came out. You get what I mean, and what have you. But you was talking about, you said, hey man, we need to talk about this, dialogue. So I'm gonna let you pop it off, man. I'm gonna quit flopping off at the gums, and I'm gonna let you pop it off, and then we just gonna chop it up back and forth. Like we said, Brother Brown out there, he gonna dialogue. he got something to say, man. Yeah.
Well, you know what, man? It's crazy because I'm listening to the introduction music.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Power to the people. Bro, see, that's why I roll with you, man. Because that's why I roll with you, because that's why I was great get on. But go ahead, man, bro.
Because people need to understand that, especially with local elections, when we're talking about local elections and a city with the population of Ypsi, which is not too grand, it's not too large,
approximately 20,000 people.
It is literally power to the people if we understand the power of voting, controlling the voting, and who we're putting in office. Like I don't think we understand that a group of 150 or 200 can make that much of a difference with the direction of a city. And I remember you said something a while ago, we were having a conversation, and you was talking about the things that's going on in Ypsi. Like we literally sit around in a city to where our vote can get us certain information, and we're watching things being built all around us. Why is it that we don't have the information about these things being built around us? Now, mind you, the things being built around us wasn't decided on yesterday.
Right.
They were decided on a long time ago. So now we're talking about access to information. Why is that we don't have the access to information of these things, these buildings, these roundabouts, this development, allocation of funds? How come these things we see it happening?
We see it happening in real time.
We see it happening in real time.
Right.
But these things are being set and put into place. And that thing is happening because there is no, I don't know if I want to use the word transparency, but there is no communication. There's no direct communication. There is no line to what's happening in Ypsi before it happens in Ypsi. One thing that I am optimistic about is I was able to have conversations with a few people, a few candidates, a few people who were elected positions, and we have some delegates that each one that I talked to, including Crystal Light, who is going against the Republican Trent or something like that in Ann Arbor.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody's thing was information, getting information to the people, getting information to the people, getting information to the people. And I think it's that obvious that we don't have or get the information.
Correct.
So I think I don't want to say that I am a bit discouraged because of the lack of voter turnout, because I understand why some people don't, because we don't understand the power that we can have. If we understood the power that we can have in this community, as small as it is, that we take advantage of it. Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody said, listen, go down to the store, I know for a fact they got $10 scratch offs that's winners, you'd go right down there because you know it's going to happen.
Right.
You're going to move that way.
Right.
We don't move that way, but yet we can control it. You know what I'm saying? We can have a voice. We can make things happen in Ypsi because it's not out of our reach of possession of the power. And so that's one of the things that kind of bothers me, is that we're not moving with a sense of urgency, but other people are moving with a sense of urgency in terms of business and economic development and economic growth.
Yes. So, infrastructure is growing too, right around us, and I couldn't have broke that down more eloquently, right? Particularly understanding that when, like in the city of Ypsilanti in particular, has a 30 20 and 10-year master plan. And I have said this before, and you just said it. These people just didn't wake up in the middle of the night and decide they were going to start tearing up Hamilton Street and Huron Street and reducing it to a road diet. And so that you can bridge over I-94 and make that long overdue connection between Ypsilanti Township and the city of Ypsilanti. That just didn't occur. And I'm going to say this ain't busting nobody, this ain't trying to embarrass nobody. That wasn't Ronnie Peterson's ideal to do that. That he didn't bring that in. He just happened to be the guy who was on watch on this particular time. You get what I mean? And he took advantage of that process to say that this is what I'm doing. Okay, cool. I got that. I ain't gonna argue with you. You feel what I'm saying? But this had been long drawn out, long thought out, long time ago. And then all of a sudden now that we start getting these announcements that there's going to be a road diet taking place throughout the city of Ypsilanti, like you say, the roundabouts. And when I was talking about before over at the E-Course Road, US 17, M17, US 12 interchange I-94 going into the Willow Run Airport, as well as the Automotive Center of Mobility, right? They just didn't decide to do that. Right behind us right here, the purchasing of the old University of Michigan School of Business, which is now going to be a STEM point in business, stuff like that. These things just didn't occur, right? But we hear about it when we after the fact. I've heard many people come to tell me, hey man, I just heard this going on. I said, dude, I've been knew about this. We've been knew about these things. I think that our community has gotten fed up with the status quo that's been in place for a long time, and seeing our community stagnant, but everything around us is growing. And I believe people finally got fed up with that. And that's the reason why we had a so-called changing of the guard. The old guard, you know what I mean? People were disgruntled with the lack of information that they were not providing to us, and gave the appearance that they were not doing anything for the community themselves, and not communicating back and forth to the little man, to the small man, you and I, you get what I mean? People who they don't think that we necessarily account, or we know what's going on or have any concern. And I think that a lot of people got tired of the stagnation and seeing the same old thing as everything I've grown around us. And my community, my neighborhood looks the same as it did 50 years ago.
And some oftentimes wonder, like, the passion that we have when we want to become proactive with things. Like, for example, I would never tell anybody don't be passionate about where you're from, but again, same conversation. What is it? Soma?
Soma, right. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? And it's like don't get mad that they want to change it to Soma,
right?
But you're not upset that the dynamic is changing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can like it's you know, and I understand people from South Side, like, yo, I'm from the South Side, and I love that passion. Right. Keep that passion, but understand something: the changing of the name, should not be the only thing that you are passionate and frustrated about. Because I believe West Willow. That's what is that? That's
south of Michigan Avenue now.
And what are they gonna call it? Historic Willow Run or something?
Historic, Willow Run,
or something like that. It's not gonna be West Willow.
It's already out there right now. If you look at it, there's a monument right out there at the American Center of Mobility Place.
And it's like who are making these decisions? I know it's not people from the Willow. I know it ain't people from the South Side.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like these. So it's like so many things, whether it's large or small, are happening. They're happening. These politicians that were put in the office, why isn't there communication to the things that are important to the people? But we know, like you said, it's a change of guard, because it may have been a lot of appeasement. It may have been a lot of just, you know, well, let me say this or do this or make that. Let me go over here for this photo op. Let me go over here or what have you. Right. But it's like the changes that's coming to your community. I'm not going to talk to you about that. You know, I'll take this picture with you. So I was telling you that the one thing I am optimistic about is it's a group of delegates, and I think they call themselves the East Side Squad.
Okay, I haven't heard them call that, but go ahead.
It is I may get it wrong, but it's Alicia Dyer, it's Leah Chapman, it's Justin Harper, it's Alex, is it Thomas?
Alex Thomas.
Alex Thomas, and I may be
forgetting the East Side Squad. Okay, I see. Now, let them say. I see all them folks bundling up together. I peeked them out. I didn't know they had called themselves that. You get what I mean? But I see exactly the way they roll. Okay, go ahead.
And that's why I said.
And let me tell you this. I got my eye on y'all. I mean, let me zoom in a little bit, right? I got my eye on y'all. East Side Squad. Don't think I'm not aware. You get what I'm saying? So let me say this. Sometimes they wonder why I shy away and walk away. Because I know your game. I'm putting it right on here right now. I know you hustle. I know you lick. And let me lay alone. Let's start right here. So you hit the name right on the head, right? Okay. Go ahead, brother. East Side Squad.
But hey, listen, it's a group of delegates to where in talking with several and I never and after the election, I never got with a group. Right. I said, no, let me just go and I just want to, just pick a random, some random folks and just talk to them.
Right.
Where's your head at? How do you think about these elections just happened? And I asked them all types of questions, your role, responsibility, what's important to you. I'm unapologetically Black. Have you done anything, for us, prior to getting in this position? I don't want to hear about what your plans are. So, I had conversations with them and a common thread with all of them was it came back to power to the people, but it came back to it's just been flat out a lack of sharing of information.
Yes.
We just don't have the information, so we can't move the right way. We can't move the right way. So hopefully, the Justin Harpers and the Leah Chapmans and the Teresa Allens, hopefully, they can. And another good thing too is these are people that this is what I like. I know them before, and no ice has to be broken.
Right.
We can have a real conversation with these people who are boots on the ground.
Right.
Now, the main thing is advocacy. And I asked them that. It's only a 2-year position.
2-year position.
Right now I'm just speaking about delegates. Right. I think commissioner is just 2 years as well.
2 years as well, right.
Can you really get something done?
As a delegate, as a precinct delegate.
As a precinct delegate.
Yeah, I used to be a precinct delegate. Before I was precinct delegate before folks even know a precinct delegate existed. Okay, that's been over 20 years ago. You feel what I'm saying? I'm very familiar with the position.
So it's like the things that you want to do. I know you have protocol. You may even have an agenda in front of you of some things that you may have to continue from the previous delegate. I don't know.
Right.
But is your position really going to be effective and worthy? And from what I got from most of them is they have an absolute idea of what they want to do. Number one is the sharing of information. Number two is the crazy advocacy. And I think they even, did you go to Lansing to be a part of the convention or what have you?
Yes, you do when you're a precinct delegate.
Yeah. So, so it's about the relaying the information back to the community, in which I think is our biggest problem is lack of information, whether you're dealing with education, you're dealing with economics, you're dealing with anything. If we don't have the information, so I say that to say, and I've also told them, I said, listen, I'm harder on the people than I am on politicians. Right.
Me too. Yeah.
Because Aesop said that we hang the petty thieves and we elect the good ones to public office.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thieves, right.
You know what I'm saying? The good thieves, we elect them to public office. Right. And so it's like there's not a lot of trust oftentimes. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like there's always an agenda. And I keep saying this, I keep going back to this because I want to drill this in people's heads. We're not a super huge community.
Right.
We're not a super huge community. Right. We can literally get things done. If we truly have a surge, if we truly can have a movement, we can really, like I said, 200-300 people can affect the direction of the city.
Right.
If we have a Caroline Sanders and we have a Justin Hodge and we have, certain people as commissioners, and we have all these grassroots social workers as delegates.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because probably all of them probably are. or have been, or one to the heart. Now you at each level that you move up, now it's more familiar faces, people that we know, people that we can hold accountable. We can hold accountable. Right. So stop throwing away your vote, even the folks that look like us.
Right.
Know what I mean? Because I mean,
yeah.
What they say, all my skin folk ain't my kin folk. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can look at where we're sitting at right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? When you look at the status quo, I mean, the status quo was in there. All of them was skin folk. You get what I mean? I'm just telling you straight up and down. But look at the conversation we're having right now. Yeah. This is a conversation that you and I should not be having whatsoever. I'm just being straight up and down. And I'll stop communicating. Let me just say this, because you mentioned some names up in there, right? And this means you talking, they just happen to hear our conversation. And I've had to tell some people straight up and down, this ear to the ground 197, y'all better quit fucking with them folks. I told them straight up and down. I said, you don't even know the agenda that they have for you, right? And such folks, I stopped completely break down in communication with them. You can't get any more information, no confirmation, no more conversation from me whatsoever. You know why, Ryan? Because the information that I had been sharing with him, he was going back telling the other side, verbatim. We had a strategy, we had a plan. You feel what I'm saying? And our strategy and our plan got people elected to office, the people that you see right now. These folks that call themselves the East Side Squad just showed up and jumped onto the coattails after we had been in years preparing these people for office. And I'll peep game real quick. Let me back up a little bit, right? Yeah, my theme song is called All Power to the People, right? And who really popularized that really lately as time was in the movie of the Judas and the Messiah. Yeah. And where you actually seen it when Fred Hampton used the term. All power to the people is a participatory democracy, where it's people who make the decisions. This is what Fred Hampton, and you see my hat over there, it's a Black Panther, see that Black Panther Party hat right there. I just don't talk this stuff. All right, I live this. Thank you, I live this. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. We want to start doing stuff. You get what I mean? Right. You know what I'm saying? It's written on me. So I don't talk it, I live it. And people who know me, who really know me, know I'm really about that life, right? But there's a scene in that movie where Judas had opened the trunk up and where he had some C4 explosives. And what he wanted to do was he was trying to convince Fred Hampton to go blow up City Hall. And Fred Hampton looked at him and walked away from him. You see, this group is working with some folks who are anarchists on the down low, who want to tear down government. See, they want to tear down government. They don't have any purpose of building up, but to tear down. They didn't understand the Black Panther Party's message on why they were doing the things that they were doing. They thought they were anarchists. No, they wanted power to be equally distributed amongst the people. And that's what they were like that. The point I'm getting at, when you listen to the term that's going on right here, right now, defund the police, defund the police. That's the most dangerous and most ignorant thing that anybody could be talking about doing right now.
Without explanation.
Without explanation, not having a clue. Yeah. Bro, I got a videotape. I'm gonna show you afterward, showing you why it's necessary that we have police. Absolutely. Okay, it's necessary we have police in a civilized structured party. This group right here that you're talking about, that's why I say they're dangerous. Listen to what I'm saying. People don't get it. When SDS, Students for a Democratic Society, tried to align themselves with the Black Panther Party, that's when Fred Hampton called them custoristic. They're leading you into a slaughter to simply talk about defunding the police, take away the police and the guns and what have you. See, when the far left radical extremists of the SDS, which was the Weathermen, when they started blowing up buildings and stuff like that, that came from out of those people. They had allowed these young, white, militant-minded people to infiltrate the Black Panther Party, and that's how they brought them down from the inside out. Understanding now a better way to attack the police and defund and disarm the police and tear down government is to try to get them to remove their guns and their protection up underneath the auspices, they hit and they infiltrated the Black Lives Matter movement the same way too. And I told leaders of the local Black Lives Matter movement, I said, y'all better quit letting these young white people come in leading your march. I told them this. Then you see what happened in Detroit. Nobody listened to me because I'm telling you, I understand the history. I understand what's going on. I lived this. It's written on me, right? Nobody listened to me. Then all of a sudden, the Black Lives Matter movement, which started out as a peaceful movement, started attacking places and going in. Then you start having anarchy. So you line yourself up with these people, right? And the only thing they're trying to do is to lead you into a slaughter. Absolutely. I'm just telling you straight up and down. Yeah. I've been peep gang. I've just been quiet. Yeah. What I didn't understand is that a lot of our brothers who are aligned with this person, these people, don't understand the history. They don't understand how they got to the point that they are right now. Yeah. And that's why I shut down conversation. Call me on the telephone. I don't even answer. You don't even know. You don't even understand why I don't return text no more. Nigga, please. You got to get a little bit earlier in the morning than me. You know what I'm saying? I told you quit talking to them folks. Yeah. Then you try to be slick to me, talking about, man, I want you to share with me some information and talk to me and guide me. Dude, I followed you all the way down to the rat hole. And I peeped everybody who was in the basement, and I came back out. I seen what I needed to see. Yeah. But anyway, that's not how we got here. But I'm just telling you straight up and down, right? Yeah, no doubt. And I had to, but my responsibility, I got to hip my sisters and my brothers to what's going on. Because you're being customistic in your ideology. Yeah. You're leading your people into a slaughter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're actually perpetuating and promoting what we call gentrification. But gentrification is nothing but colonialism, imperialism, and straight up and down racism up underneath a real gentler and kinder name. You feel what I'm saying? Absolutely. I see the game going on. You feel what I'm saying? If you don't know anything, haven't learned anything else, from where you from Ann Arbor, right? Yeah. Old West Side is called now Water Hill. Yeah. So when these people came in here, same folks, you said the song. People think I be tripping when I be trying to tell people that's how they get you. Yeah. It's a lady right now, some social worker works up juvenile. She's mad at me because I dressed her down by calling Southside of Ypsilanti Soma, because I had to stop those dice right there in the middle of the road. Yeah. You get what I mean? It's Southside. You don't get in here to come in here and rename my community, because I understand what you're doing. Yeah. You're looking at it right now. You're looking at a slow burn, if you will, right? Yeah. All you got to do is come out here and hang out here sometime at the bus station, man, at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you'll see the displacement of people who've been here forever, for lifetimes. Yeah. All you got to do is come out here and hang out. But these people who we talking about, you never see them here after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, they gone. Yeah, man. Yeah, I peeped them one night, man. I went into the tap room, hung out with them. I stuck in long enough, and they all wanted to get me in the photo op. Yeah, I hope y'all listening, because I'm just telling you. Because if you come at me incorrect, I'm gonna come at you. I peeped them one night on a humbug on accident. They was all in the little corner, man, and all of them wanted to take a picture with me. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Been trying to get in the picture with me literally for a year. Get that camera away from me. I'm not lying with you. I don't roll with you. Yeah. I know who you are. History has already told me who you are. While you sitting up here trying to figure out what's going on, I've been studying you. I've been looking at you for a whole year now. Yeah. Been peeped you out. Yeah. But you brought me on my camera and got me talking, man. When you broke off good people. That's the thing. And even if people, some may know exactly what you're talking about, some may not. But what it all boils down to is, who is this person? Not per se, but who is this person politically to you and your people? Right. So, and that's like Juneteenth program that we had. It's like, when I had the opportunity to stand in front of, the politicians that was there, I said, listen, people, these people that's walking up to you, that's soliciting your vote, that want you to trust them. I said, again, people don't wake up and say, it's an election tomorrow, let me throw my hat in the ring. People have already made that decision to run. People, when you're running, you know who you're going to be serving. Right. You know these things. So if a person comes to you and solicits you, and that person has no history of helping you or your people. No, none, not a bit. Yep. Tell them, keep your promises
and show me your receipts. A person should never say, trust me with a direction of not you, but your children.
Right.
You should be able to go to that person and say, why should I trust you? What have you done? Anything in your history. As a matter of fact, when you decided to run, I don't care if you only had a year before you decided to run. Did you do anything in that year to at least put in your resume to say, hey, this is what I've done?
Right.
Because if you can't continue something that you've already done when you go into office, you're probably not going to start it.
Thank you. Right.
So we have to be mindful of who we are trusting our votes to. I said it once, I said it a million times. Kamala and Joe are not coming to Ipsy.
Thank you.
They're not coming to Ipsy. Kamala and Joe, the things that they do, the decisions that they're making is not going to have a fast and a direct impact on what we do here. We need to understand, we need to focus on Ipsy. We need to focus on the elected officials in Ipsy. We need to focus on the direction of Ipsy. Like that's where our focus needs to be. And if we don't, we are going to wake up and Ipsy is going to look like Ann Arbor, and it's going to be few of us here. The vast majority of people that I know that I grew up with, you know me, I'm Northside, Airwood. We all grew up, couldn't afford Ann Arbor. Now we live in Ipsy.
Now you live in Ipsy, yep.
If you see what's going on around Ipsy, again, with the lack of sharing of information from elected officials, okay, we don't know what's coming. We don't even know what's on the table in terms of options.
Come on, brother. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if we don't even know what's on the table in terms of options, and we have no say, we have no power, we don't benefit, our children aren't going to benefit. We will not gain any type of economic power in the city if we're not decision making. And we don't have, if we were able to do that, we can stop certain things.
Yes.
Or we can also make certain things happen. I forget which district it is, maybe 2, where Commissioner Light.
Crystal Light.
Yeah. She spoke big time about the farmland. She says it's very rural. Okay. If we don't do something now, let's be honest, most folks will probably vote for her Black Democrats because her opponent's a Republican.
Right.
So that may not even be, I'm just being honest, there may not even be a situation where people really do research on her. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I know her receipts. She told me what she's done. I know she's done things specifically for Black people. But what I'm getting at is that if we don't get heavily involved, that rural land, and your guy, Mr. Parsons,
right?
You see what I'm saying?
All right.
If we don't protect these areas, if we don't do something with these areas, if we don't go and a part of the planning for these areas, we're going to lose them.
Exactly.
Even if it remains farmland, we'll lose them in terms of control and what we can do with it. And that may be something as simple as distribution of the food, you know, or what have you, or you know, 1, 2, like say, hey, Supreme fellas, we're gonna be out here at this farmland every Saturday. We're doing this, that, and the other. If we don't have that, you can't do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And to where you know where it needs to go.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Boots on the ground folks are different than folks in the office.
Much different.
Yeah. So those are the small nuances that we need to start. We need to start thinking more unapologetic with the city of Ipsy,
right? Because
I'm afraid that we're still sitting back, getting that sticker, putting it right here and saying,
I'm through. Yeah,
I'm good. I did my job. And that's what I fear. Yeah,
that's what I fear. And you couldn't express that more eloquently. The people who are in office right now, right? And I'll put some names out there. Nicole Brown, Annie Somerville, Jimmy Wilson, and Justin Hodge in particular, right? Those folks that you call the East Side is what you call the East Side
East
gang.
Side Squad.
East Side Squad. Been sniffing up their behind coming up later on. You get what I mean? I'm watching, man, and stuff like that. But not understanding that Jimmy Wilson, Nicole Brown, Annie Somerville, and Justin Hodge would not be in office right now. You hit that number almost straight up and down. There's a group of 200 folks that's behind them, pushing behind the scenes. That's why they got in office, right? The unseen hand was making sure that people who have the best interest of the people are in the office, right? Hey, Karen, say what's going on, Karen Harding, right? Okay. Now that they're in office, right? Hey, Tracy, what's going on, babe? Yeah, Tracy out there too. Tracy, there go Tracy. I ain't seen Beatty yet. They be going out. Look, hey Bryan, they be going out, leaving me, all kinds of stuff like that, going out to the other jazz concert. But that's all right. They're my sisters. But dig this here. They were hand selected and hand picked. Mm-hmm. All power to the people. Y'all didn't get in there on your own. Understand this right up and down, right? And so it's our responsibility, you, me, and like-minded of, to make sure that now that they are in office, that they not only do the things that they promised and were elected on, but also to make sure that they do the will of the people. Period. The will of the people. Period. Not talking about what the ideologists want. We're not talking about what the corporate people want done. You have to do the will of the people. And if you stray just a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, you're one and done.
Gotta call them out.
Call you out, one and done. I ain't got no problem doing it. I've been kind of laying in the cut, and I'm gonna just tell you straight up down. I've been kind of laying in the cut in the last year, using my platform, my voice, purposely. You get what I mean? Not addressing individuals, but addressing the issues. That's been removed after Tuesday, because now my responsibility, Justin, Nicole, Annie, Jimmy, is to keep my foot to your ass. Period. I ain't gonna lighten up. I'm gonna tighten them up. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. We gonna do this. Oh, yeah. See, because what happened to the status quo before was straight up and down. Nobody held them accountable. It's just like what you said. You said all skinfolk ain't kinfolk. And because we put that sticker on us, we let who folks we thought was our kinfolk thought they had the best interest in hands. See, let me tell you something else we did. I've used this analogy all the time. What we did was we sent them to the wolves hungry, and the wolves fed them. They ain't never seen lobster platters where you can eat all the lobster that you want to get. They ain't never seen all the shrimp you ever seen in your life. Probably some of the most shrimp that the folks ever seen at one time was either they seen a red lobster or what came in the shrimp fried rock box, crab legs. I'm just gonna tell you, many times some of them, the best steak that they ever had was at the Ponderosa restaurant until they got up there with the white folks with all that money, and we sent them out there hungry. And so they told them straight up and down, man, you can eat all that you want. Man, take some home. Matter of fact, you can take some home, take a bag, and then take some back home to your people. And I actually told a guy actually told me, man, this is the best that I can do for you. Wow. Real conversation, man. I asked one of our elected officials, can you do this for me? He said, man, I can't get you nothing. I can't get you no money. Real talk, man.
So who else you supposed to go to?
Yeah, who else we supposed to go? Thank you. Feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's why it was time for that status quo to get out of there. Because you're looking out for the best interests of your people and your community. Yeah. So the new blood that's in there, purposely, they're young, they're energetic, they're intelligent, they're educated, right? But it's responsibility from the power of the people to make sure that they do the people's will. That's why we have to pack out the city hall. We have to pack out. The county building when they have the county commissioner building. Yeah. We got to send people straighten all the way up. Somebody got to ride with Jimmy Wilson Jr. Yeah. Somebody got to ride with Jimmy Wilson Jr. Because when he on his ride up to Lansing, the man said, hey, man, I'm going to pull over here to this restaurant way over in the deep. You ain't never seen that. And then they bring him in this restaurant, man. They got that whole pig sitting up there, man, and feed him whatever he want to get. You know what I mean? Make him forget about what he went up there for. You get what I mean? Made sure he purposely hungry. Right now, somebody need to pack that Negro a lunch on his way in. That way he can eat a bologna sandwich on the ride down there and not get fucked off on the way there. Excuse my language, but I'm talking to my friend. Y'all just have to be hearing me. You get what I mean? That's what power to the people means. You get what I'm saying? That you do the will of the people, not do the will of corporate America and doing the will of the ideologues. You feel what I'm saying? We at the tipping point of ridiculousness in America, and it's time for folks like me and you to stand up and speak on it. We at the tipping point. That's why we at where we right now. because people like me and you who do know what's going on have been, and I'm not pointing fingers at you, we've been too silent. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what this platform here to Round 197 is for. You know what I mean? So that we can let our people know what's going on and also communicate. Because I'm looking at the numbers out here for Sunday afternoon. Some people out here listen. You get what I mean? They listen. And I want you to hear what we're saying.
Oh, no doubt.
Because we're not playing.
And not just listen, but take that action.
You better take that action.
When you see an elected official, go up and tell them.
Yeah.
Let them know what's going on in your community. Let them know what's going, actually let them know, hey, listen, this park is such and such and such and such. You do something about it.
Right.
And I'm not asking you what you can do. Do something about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because now we have to understand we do have power. We have that power of the reach now. We have that power of social media now. So if I say, hey, listen, I got trash that piles up at this park and it's not picked up for 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows that you are responsible for it. You
right.
won't do it. You stood in front of us and you said this, that, and the other, and we can vote you out. We only got 2 years or whatever. We can't make it. So we need, I'm telling you, man, we need to flat out be more unapologetic, stop being fearful, and understand that the things that we're doing are truly for our children or our grandchildren.
Right.
Period. What type of Ypsilanti is our grandchildren going to grow up in?
Thank you.
What type? Are we going to have any type of power, control, say, direction, economic growth? And if we don't, I don't want to get sidetracked, but if we don't start doing something in terms of economic power, this construction going on,
bro. Look,
all this construction, all these buildings, and again, it's because things are being planned to be done in Ypsi. We see it real time, but these plans have gone into effect a long time ago, which means the contract negotiations have been going on.
They've been going on, bro, and you've been a part of them. Look. The reason why Kwame didn't do any, I'm talking about Kwame Kilpatrick hasn't done nothing that any other his predecessors and have done. You feel what I'm saying? He ain't doing the same thing, right? Doing the same thing, right? This lick been going on. Like you said, them contracts already been done. Kwame got caught up doing the same thing because he was helping his own people. He wasn't doing nothing no different, man. Still, and I talked to a couple of newsmen personally, one-on-one. And them folks who run in that city right now, man, straight up and down, told Kwame, look at here, take this lick, you're only gonna go for a short time, right? And we're gonna take care of your peoples while you're gone. Kwame said, no, I'm running it through, and he got what he got. Okay. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on, like you say, 100%, these deals already been cut. Now, them folks who took this cut, because they thought it was going to be business as usual and that they was going to be reelected again come November and January, they got some explaining to do to them white folks because they took that money and now you ain't in office. I thought you had them niggas in control down in Ypsilanti.
Yeah. But the ones,
we're just trying to shut them down.
The ones that business as usual.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they be?
Right.
If they've never been held accountable,
right? If
they can continue the same janky political practices that they've had, it causes complacency, and they can feel like any other politician that just gets elected just because, hey, you have a D next to your name or R next to your name.
Right.
When they don't feel like they have to do anything different, then that's what's going to happen. But they only feel that way from their comfort level.
Right.
All right. And that comfort level comes from, I know I'm gonna get elected again.
Right. That's what all I got to do. It's some folks, it's a couple folks around here scratching their head and actually angry that the people didn't reelect him. Did you hear me? Yeah, I seen them. I'm watching them. I'm like, wow, that shows you your total self-centeredness and egotism, because it was never about the people, it was always about you. You are a servant of the people, and the people just no longer desire to have you serve them. What the fuck is you mad about?
Man, again, I am, politicians are politicians. My focus is the people. We need to step our game up. Like you said, persons like you and I that people find themselves listening to might be influential. but the community as a whole, we need to understand what power to the people means.
Right.
Understand what power we hold, how we can use it to create change. We, like you said, the commissioners, the Hodges, and the others, we need to make sure that they know I'm right behind you.
Thank you. And never forget
that you're doing. You slip up. You slip up and we're coming at you.
Thank you.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
I ain't silent no more.
Because we don't have time. We don't have I don't know. I'm preaching to the choir right now. Yeah. The youngins is dying in the street.
Man, listen, man. You know I know that on a daily basis.
You know what I'm saying? The youngins dying on the street.
Sick, man. They're sick. Man.
Yeah, and you know, I'm watching certain people in the community give everything they have to try to make and create change. Man, listen. I don't care. The city of Ypsi only got $100.
Right.
That money needs to be allocated to our babies, or at least $35 of it.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we need to make sure that we hold people in office saying, listen, man, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what your relationship with your so-called higher ups are, the people that's the wolves that's feeding you. I don't care. But the moment that you let us know by your actions or lack thereof that Ypsi and the community of Ypsi and the children are not a priority, we're going to be a problem for you.
Will be problematic.
Going to be problematic for you.
Right.
But we have to be stern about it.
Yeah.
We have to be stern about it. And that's the only way that prior to an election, somebody's going to come to us with receipts.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's the reason why I ran behind those and the way that I did, because they showed me the receipts prior to. They didn't have any problem. I've watched them stand up for our community. I've watched them stand up and go against even their constituency who didn't want, let me tell you this, man. We got 10,000, we asked for $10,000 for the Park Ridge Summerfest. This was 2 years ago, I believe it was. You know how much we received? We got 5,000.
Okay.
No. Okay. We was with the 10,000. The 10,000 came from the marijuana equity fund because Black people have been disproportionately affected by the uses and distribution of marijuana. Okay, right? I'm gonna put a name out there. Annie Somerville advocated because I went to her and she got us $10,000. Then I got a call from the city manager saying that, Bryan, do you really need $10,000? What you mean? Can you do with something less than? Yeah, I guess so, because we ain't normally been getting nothing. Can you do it 5,000? I said, yeah, we can make it 5,000. Because somebody on city council said that, Black said that the south side of Ypsilanti, Park Ridge Summerfest and Park Ridge Community Center and Park Ridge Park didn't need that kind of money. Yeah. See, the $5,000 was the $10,000 was going to go for those little programs that we be doing out there. You know, we was out there cleaning up and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be that so that we can draw from that. That was from the marijuana equity fund. Yeah. But our own people was the ones who went against us. But it was Annie Somerville who was the one that went in and advocated on behalf. I was in that ear. And I say this all that time, that $50,000 that came to do that softball diamond. Ronnie Peterson did not give a damn dime to do that. That was Jeff Irwin. I contacted Annie Somerville and she went to Jeff Irwin, and Jeff Irwin contacted me back and said, Bryan, I got $50,000 for you. That was not Ronnie Peterson. That was not Ronnie Peterson who got that Civil War monument down at the funeral. At the cemetery where they had the Black Civil War that he unveiled, on Juneteenth. No, that was Senator Jeff Irwin. I'm just telling you, man. See, this is the shit what I've been quiet about.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you didn't do that. And you look on his campaign price. This is what I did. See,
I guess Annie can do something decent, but I ain't gonna go there right now.
But now we can address that right now because we may have to address it on Tuesday.
Oh,
okay. We may have to address it on Tuesday, right? But what I'm saying is this is what she's shown that she's done. But now I still gonna have to hire to that standard. To that she continues that same way when she's at the county office. What did the brother used to say? Keep that same energy.
Yes, sir.
Keep that same energy.
Yeah.
Okay, those are the reasons why I supported you. Now you got to keep that same energy. Karen said, I'm not quiet today. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because they told me I could talk. You have to understand, Karen, I was told to keep my mouth shut from my OGs. See, my OGs told me to be quiet. Because I'm ex-military, I'll be quiet. But when they told me to go ahead and speak, I can speak. So that's why I'm speaking now.
Oh, you know, man, honestly, man, this is far too important.
Yeah.
I mean, people can brush this off. People can, you know, whatever, blah, blah. But honestly, what we're talking about, man, is far too important. We're talking about local politics, which is the direction of the community and the future of the community, the people in it, and where you stand within that community. So, I mean, it's like, sometimes, man, you're gonna have to take the lid off. Yeah. I mean, can we not afford to? Yeah. I mean, what we're gonna do, sit back again. We're gonna sit back, continue to watch things happen in real time, and never be a part of the planning process, never be beneficiaries of any type of economic growth. Right. Like, so no. So sometimes you will have to take the lid off. We have to have these conversations. If we don't, well, I mean, how can we have an election, local election, and not have a conversation? Right. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, what did we just put in office? Who do we put in office? What direction did these folks, like you said, this new blood, this younger blood, like what direction are we really going into? Did we do ourselves a favor, or do we do ourselves disservice? So no, we have to have these conversations. Exactly. Now, Nicole Brown, she'll tell you straight up and down. Yeah, like she said, I'm talking now, Karen. I called Nicole Brown on the telephone. Ask her. She already told her. Ask her. I said, you are running for mayor. That's why she ran for mayor. Because I told her. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't ask her. She'll tell you. I told you. You're qualified. You got the experience. You got the knowledge, and you had the know-how now. You are running. Yeah. Real talk. Yeah. But you know, let me say this. People say, you know, why you quiet. Man, I had a 2-shot Derringer put in my head close to 30 years ago. Trigger pulled at me, man. No bullets came out. Yeah, 2-shot Derringer. I was living out in West Willow, man. This was, you know, during them days, right? 20 years ago, I believe it was. Cat shot at me point blank range. Well, he wasn't point blank. I maybe 10, right? Automatic. Top. Had my hands up straight up like this, man. He missed me every time. That's why I have a don't give a fuck attitude. I'm supposed to have been dead a long time ago. I'm living on borrowed time. I have children and grandchildren. If I'm not going to speak up for him, then they might as well have killed me with that opportunity right there. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Absolutely. That's why I roll the way that I roll, man. You see what I'm saying? But I've tried to protect other people's integrity and character by doing silence while they was jacking off on the people. Okay? And I consciously knew that. And I can't do that no more. You understand what I'm saying? No more. I can't do that no more. You was talking about that situation on Annie Somerville. Yeah. Let's address that, right? Because it's supposed to be, somebody's supposed to come to City Hall and address her on that issue. And I'm going to be there to defend Annie. What we're talking about is that Annie wrote a post that said, well, I'm gonna let you say it, bro, and then we can build on it. What she said, right? Well, this is what happened. Annie Somerville, I guess she called herself wanting to do something positive in Ypsilanti by showcasing historical figures within Ypsilanti, and she wanted to make sure it was about women. She wanted to highlight and showcase women in the city of Ypsilanti. So she called her showpiece. Whenever she introduced the woman that was in Ypsilanti, who she wanted to highlight, she called them the bad bitches of Ypsilanti. Right. Okay. She called them bad bitches. And so what I did was I said, understand something. That's not something that we do in our community. Right. Okay. I said, when you have people, and this young lady, my mother, the lady actually that she highlighted, can't remember her name, but she used to attend Second Baptist Church. Maddie Dorsey. And everybody knows Maddie Dorsey, and she's a pillar. She is cold piece. You know what I'm saying? She's a historical figure. I believe she ran for city council or commissioner. I don't know if she got it. Yeah. But yeah, so she was highlighting her. And what I tried to explain to Annie in a very, I tried to, be informational, not confrontational. And I said, Annie, understand something. I said, when we talk about Maddie Dorsey, Betty Shabazz, Coretta Scott King, Merle Evers. I said, we don't, in our community, we don't address our lady, our historical figures as bitches. I said, that's a no-no.
That's right.
We don't do that. Historically, we don't. I said, because I said, you can take the most vile rapper, and that most vile rapper will never consider a pillar in our community, especially a Black woman, as a bitch. That doesn't go there. So she, as opposed to saying, okay, I understand what you're saying about what you do and don't do your culture. Right. She says, well, you can't tell me
that's what she said.
How to take away women's empowerment. I say, Annie, this has nothing to do with women's empowerment. I'm all for it. I have a daughter.
Right.
I'm all for women's empowerment. This is not about telling a woman she can't be strong. What I'm telling you is, in our community, we don't call our women bitches like that in that form.
And I don't care if it's a 2-year, 3-year-old, whatever, or if she is a bitch, we still don't call her a bitch. We don't do that.
Okay, and so I explained it. So she again, as opposed to saying, okay, I understand what you're saying, and that could be offensive to your community. She says, well, I wanted to take a hip hop approach, and I wanted to get to the young Black girls because of the Cardi B's and the Meg Thee Stallions and the this, that, and the other. I said, understand something. Now what you're saying is you want to target young Black girls to have them consider themselves bad bitches. Right. We don't teach our young girls to call themselves bitches in any shape or form. Right. It's not a term of endearment. Now, do Black women be around each other? Do brothers be around each other? Oh, what's up? That's my nigga. That's my nigga. I said, but if you're not in the culture and you don't understand how it's expressed, it's not happens. But we never call our women of the movement, our women of the struggle. I told her. You did? I said, go to Pastor Waddle's church.
And you said it just like that.
Go to all those women and introduce them and call them, stand in front of them and call them some bad bitches and see what happens. Right. She still stood on it and was like, no. And so this is my thing. And I want people to understand this. I got to sit up in my chair.
Go ahead, bro.
Understand something. First of all, Brother Malcolm said, only a fool will allow his oppressors to educate his children.
Right.
This is why I'm going to say this word, and I really don't like to say this word, but this is why I have to say this word. The reason I don't like Annie Somerville is because I had a woman, a non-Black woman, tell me that she is going to specifically teach young Black girls. She said nothing about little white girls. She said nothing about little Mexican girls. She said, I'm going to specifically go after young Black girls to teach them that they are bad bitches. And I think there was a number on it, 12 and under, or whatever. When a person tells me that they're going to teach our children something that detrimental, it sticks with them.
Right.
If you go home and you tell your child, you're a dummy, 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 you're a dummy. What do you think your child is going to think? I'm a dummy.
Right.
So if you tell girls, now my thing with Annie is this a program that you're going to do? How are you going to target the young girls? How are you going to introduce them to it? And when are you going to first and formally tell them that you, young Black woman, are a bad bitch? When I can sit up here and call a person like Calista Walker, who has a program called Queens and Pharaohs. So how can I sit in a city with a Black woman that has a program called Queens and Pharaohs with another woman, a white woman, that's talking about, no, they are bad bitches? The same little girls. Right. So are you going to go to Calista's little girls who she's trying to teach to be queens, to be bad bitches? No. And people are like, oh, so I've had some people ask me, Ryan, are you taking it too far? Is that too much too far? I tell you what, go home to your niece. Right. Go home to your daughter. Go home to your grandmama. Call her a bad bitch. Right. So if you can't go home to your own daughter, 8, 9, 10-year-old daughter, and tell her, listen, baby girl, I love you so much. You are an absolute bad bitch. If you can't tell that to your daughter, don't ask me if I'm going too far. Right. You ask this person that want to teach our kids stuff, and that type of stuff sticks with them. Right. I can't go home. I can sit up here in a conversation with you. Right. And be like, B, Foley, you my nigga.
You're right.
Foley, you my nigga. Foley, you are absolutely my nigga, Foley.
And we do it.
You understand? I will not go to my son's house with my two grandsons, look at Roman and Ryan and say, you know what? Y'all my little niggas.
Right.
Those are my grandsons. Those are my grandsons.
Right.
I can't do that. And I won't do that.
Right.
Just like I'm not about to allow somebody to say that it's perfectly fine to target young Black girls and teach them to be bad bitches. And then when I try to explain to you and culturally why we don't do it, but you still say, nah, I'm still doing it, I ain't got no love for you.
Yep. And let me say this. Everything that you said, you are 110% correct. And I stand on everything that you said, right? Now, same thing what you said, myself as well as Nicole Brown called her up and broke it down to her. And this is why I like Anderson Summerfield, because she didn't come off of her square in defense of what she was saying. You know why? Because she didn't understand the culture. When it broke down, when we broke it down, Nicole and I, just what you have seen and what you said, she got it. She was 100% correct, but that she was 100% wrong in what she said. But at the time, she didn't know it. Because we in our community, just like what you said, I got lady friends right now, friends who are ladies, who call each other bitch. Bitch, please, bitch, all on Facebook, bitch. She was just trying to adapt into the culture. We had to let her know, just like what you do, right? That's not how we get down. And it's not acceptable for you or anybody else to address our women, period, as a bitch. It was then, like I said, she stood, I watched it. You see, I watched the Facebook fight. You know, I did, I watched it and I talked to her and she fought me back on the same day. I can't remember if it was you who brought it to my attention. And then I immediately called her when I read it. She fought back on me. But when we educated her and explained to her the reasoning why, see, that's why the mass media, and this is why we got to speak up and start not allowing people to misrepresent and speak for us, right? In the culture, in the media, in the newspaper, on the music and everything. Because if we start saying it to each other, then everybody else starts saying it.
My question to her would be, what made you hold your ground?
You know what made her, because that's her, let me say this, what made her hold her ground, because has her character and integrity.
Why would we vote for somebody that has the character and integrity to say that I can't listen and understand that I may have been offensive to another community? And even if I stand on my own too, let me remedy the situation and say, you know what I'm saying? But she only did that after we got broken down to it. She like, let me just say that sometimes she like me. Maybe as we get along. You can tell me something, man, I don't give a, I'm rolling with it until you come over and you say, hey, Bryan, and you done did this to me. Hey, B, dig this here, man. Dig this here, man. Catch your breath, slow down, and let me give you some information. Once she was giving information, then she came from off that hot-headedness, that fire that she has. She's wrong, and she sincerely apologized. She didn't get it then like so many other people. You get what I mean? But if you was the one who broke it down and you didn't come off her square, and then she said, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That's dangerous.
And
I'm glad that she apologized, and I hope that the apology was truly sincere.
It was sincere.
But that's dangerous because you're talking about an elected official who's influential.
And that's why, let me say this, that's why we can no longer allow our elected officials to ride solo. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? That's why we can no longer allow them to ride solo and go places unsupported, because they end up speaking about things they don't know what they're talking about, and then they're easily compromised by other things. All power to the people. You are our public servant. You do what we ask you to do, not what you want to do. And then if you can't do it on things, Karen says, hold them accountable. She's 100% correct, right? She is a weapon. She is a weapon. That is that can be very powerful and useful with the right information. The wrong information, you get exactly what we seen right there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not giving her no excuse or no pass, because I went at her too, bro. And so did Nicole. And me and Nicole, I'm putting it out there for people who didn't know, that just think that this didn't occur. Me and Nicole, on a few occasions, we was like, God damn, Manny, you just don't get it. And me and Nicole on the phone, she don't get it. Bryan, and this is Nicole. I don't know what, that's my girl. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. I said, well, we're gonna have to get her some understanding. But we didn't just leave her out there, because you know why? We understand that she's a valuable resource and tool. You feel what I'm saying? And who had some misinformation. She was, quote unquote, trying to be like so many other people, trying to fit in, trying to be cool, with not an understanding and history of the culture and the use of that word. Yeah. But imagine if a brother let me just say this. It's some folks who done jumped on that bandwagon. You heard me say that I was going to defend her. This happened way back in February. Yeah. This was back in February. Yeah. The only person who addressed her publicly, was you. You're the only person. And there was a lot of sisters on that post who was co-signing her. Let me put that out there. They was co-signing, agreeing with her with the love sign and all that kind of stuff. But the only person who addressed her publicly was you. And she took the post down. And she apologized, and it was a half-hearted apology, because you could read it. I read English, you know what I'm saying? I could read it, stuff like that at that time. But that was, like I say, once again, that was because me and Nicole kept our foot to our ass. You're not going to F this off. Let's give you some cultural understanding. Yeah. But this happened back in February. Nobody knew nothing about it. But it's a sister running around here trying to jump on a horse and dig up the grave of something that we'd addressed and we done took care of then, and trying to make it an issue right now. And that's why I said what I said. I will be down there. Show your ass up to city council you want to, and watch me clown. Show it up there. Show up there. Because you sitting up in here listening to some information that you done heard that happened way back in February that we done already addressed and handled. And we got a bad habit of doing that too, man. Got a little bit of information, half information, then want to stick our check up and then come up in here and start running off at the mouth. Not on my watch no more. I'm gonna let you know straight up and down. First of all, stay in your own community and go handle your thing. You can't even handle your shit in your community. First of all, you're coming over here trying to come and sit. Yeah. Brother Brown said this will happen when non-Black folk get too comfortable with a culture when they try to assimilate, but never allow something like to roll up. And he's 100% correct. Yeah. I never forget that a person, I don't care how cool you is, I never forget that you're racially classified as white. Yeah. Never forget that, man. Yeah. I never forget understanding those things, right? We're not in a utopian society, right? We're not in what do they call in gumbo and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. There's some folks out there racially classified as white that straight up and down hate us to this day. There's some racially classified as white who act as though our friends, who mean us ill will and just as nice as what we are. You know what I mean? They'll give us $1 million, but not understand if somebody who's holding $1 trillion, $1 million get to a brother with $1 million, it ain't nothing. All you did was give me a penny. I'm not fooled by that. You get what I'm saying? The extreme far left white man, I heard this put together. The extreme far left white man, conservative, extreme far right, Republican conservative, the extreme far left white liberal female are so far to the extremes that if you follow them, you will meet them around the back, holding each other's hands, shaking their hands and high-fiving each other. People never understand. They keep on talking about it. Well, this white woman. It was a white woman who was the ones who made it the slave, and it was the one who oversees the breeding of the people. She was just as vile in slavery as the white man is. Who you think produced these shooters that kill up people and stuff like that? It's a white woman who gave birth to them. So I'm not letting you off the hook on anything just because you come around and hang around here with me and you learn a few slogans and you sleep with a couple brothers and stuff like that, and all of a sudden you part of the in crowd. Yeah. Don't work with me.
And I would like to see sisters be more mindful and conscious when working with folks, because the lesson learned from the women's liberation movement. If you look at what happened with the women's liberation movement and And then you turn around, you look at the mothers of the slain of police, of bad, police officers shooting. I've never seen the support. I've never seen what, I've never, so it's not reciprocated. So I just don't see the same energy, as we say, keep the energy the same from white women to black women when it's black women in need or black women need a movement, because when something like that happens, it may be a Black Lives Matter, what have you, but it's always hijacked.
Yep. Oh, come on, bro. It's always hijacked.
Yeah. So they have to be mindful, like you spoke earlier with Black Panther Party. It's always an infiltration.
It's infiltration.
So
man.
Now the whole agenda has changed when it should be about the mothers of all the slain, from, like I said, bad police officers, or just that woman to woman support. But what the black woman did for the white woman with the women's liberation movement, I've never seen that reciprocated back to our black women.
Right.
I just haven't.
I haven't, yeah. And I refuse to allow some horny, misconfused, miseducated, ignorant brothers lead another white woman into our fold to bring down an organization and a community the same way that allowed the SCLC, Black Panther Party, and our organizations to do that again, right? Because they don't understand the ideology and the philosophy and the thought process of the people that they're working with. Only thing they see is this white lady with her cleavage down low coming in here with some money. Where you think she got the money from? And I'm sitting up here looking at these suckers all day long, man. And then they wonder why I sit up here and look at them like they crazy now and won't take no picture with you. If you ain't figured me, if you should have asked somebody who I was before you. Yeah, you should have asked somebody, okay, who I was. But y'all thought I was a cartoon character or something. No, I'm a real cat, man. Living out these streets for real. Anyway, bro, Saturday afternoon, they told me I could freely speak. You get what I mean? I'm talking about my OGs. I got some OGs, man, straight up and down, because I'm military structured. You get what I'm saying? I'm military minded. You know what I mean? And I follow orders, and I had the ability to give orders. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I've been quiet for the last maybe 18 months or so. You get what I mean? And also just sitting around peeping everybody out. You know what I mean? Looking at everybody getting in place and what have you and stuff like that, man. Because, like I said, we're at a cusp, at a height of ridiculousness in America. And we sitting down watching, right? We're watching our own potential downfall, right? Potential, because it ain't over with yet. I'm watching the army surround us right now, industrially, commercially, agriculturally, and culturally, right around us, right? Take a look around, and this ain't no diss against nobody else, but look at all the new restaurants and grocery stores that open up. All of them Mexican, right? Everywhere you go, right? Mexican restaurant. Mexican grocery store, Mexican. Look who out on the road crews. Look who doing the construction crews. Look on the roof the next time you see it, right? Y'all sitting up here watching folks come around just infiltrating you, what have you. And the reason why they're infiltrating you, because you've allowed them in and you've invited them in. Because you have been misinformed, just like what you said. You have been misinformed. You not have been informed on what is taking place in this county right now. And now you're sitting up and looking at your place, at your community, your children being displaced. You know, first the movement came from the West, from Ann Arbor, you've seen it, right? Now you can look at it coming in from the East. You can see that Amazon plant coming right there. You can see the Center for Mobility right here. Right behind me, I believe it's a Hyundai plant that's going in out here in Superior Township. I can't remember, it might be Toyota. Y'all completely surrounded with commerce, opportunity, and business and growth if you only take advantage of it. But because the status quo before Hey, man, take this money. Don't tell your people what's coming in. Don't tell them what's going on. Instead, we're going to slowly move in. Richard Pryor had an album a long time ago, right? And he said, white folks tired our ass. They got some new niggas. They call the Vietnamese. You don't remember that one? Yeah, that's what he said. He said, we got some new niggas. He said, they teaching them how to say nigga right now. Nigga, 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 nigga. Wow. And it was a joke that Richard Pryor said back in the 70s, right? But that's exactly what's happening on. That's why you see all these foreign nationals moving in to our community, because there has never been a moratorium placed on the eradication of the African on planet Earth since the European first came in and invaded Africa. Yeah. They ain't never said we through, right? Yeah. We never said we through slaughtering you and getting rid of you, right? What they said is that manifest destiny, right? Straight up and down. The spirit of manifest destiny has not died. It is still moving and still sweeping across. They've just gotten tricky about it and how they're doing it, and understand that it has always been an unconscious, selfish, uneducated, ignorant Negro who has always led white folks into the heart of the community. How do you think, what was the man when he said Livingston, I presume, right? When Stanley came in to rescue him, but it was uneducated, ignorant Africans who allowed them to come into the Congo that guide them in there. It's the same thing right here. They were going into the Congo looking for gold and ivory and silver and diamonds. But our most precious resource right here in Washington community is our young Black brothers and sisters of African mind. That is a resource right there, right? That has been untapped. But what's happening is some of these social workers are coming in and understand that if you get 50 Black young men and women into a group, that's money. How? Because I got 50 people to sign up on right here. Now I can go get a grant. And I can get a $50,000 or $100,000 grant. And it's the Negroes who's guiding them right in through here. We don't understand that the felon school system is not because it failed. It was tore down from the inside out. See, these folks right here, man, they thought process is different between me and you. I understand it. Yeah. You know, that was Dr. Martin Luther King, man, who said that he had a dream of walking around wanting to hold hands with little white girls and you know what I mean? That was his dream. You know what I'm saying?
But you know me, Malcolm.
I'm just putting it out there, man.
Malcolm said integration don't bring integrity.
Yeah. See, one of the things that we were so much wanted to do, man. We wanted desegregation. That's all we wanted. You get what I mean? Not integration. Yeah. We didn't want to sleep with your women. That's some new stuff that came up and stuff like that. That's some of these new Negroes involved. This kind of stuff. We just want to be peaceful, freedom, live our own life in our own way that we do, the same way that the Mexicans do here, the same way that the Arabs do, the same way the Jews do. There's nothing wrong with having your own culture. It's us who always want to assimilate into the dominant culture and think that we have arrived.
Again, it was the thought of integration brings integrity. And that doesn't bring integrity. You know, self-sufficiency brings integrity. You know, owning your own businesses, you know, political control of your communities. That's what brings integrity. Like you said, it was never about, you know, we don't want integration. We want to be able to live freely.
We want to live freely.
That's all. Yeah. So it's not that I'd rather walk through the back door of your restaurant than the front door of a Black restaurant. No, we just want the ability to have that choice.
Yeah, that choice. That's all we wanted, the choice. And you know, I'm saying it's a lot of folks out here on a Sunday afternoon. And I'm not gonna give no disclaimer. This is who I am, right? And you either love me or you hate me. You get what I'm saying? What have you? But I'm gonna put this out here straight up and down. Some of my closest friends and closest confidence, closest supporters that you will ever meet in your life are racially classified as white. Because they understand, because they come from a historical part. They come from a humanistic perspective. They're not here disguising themselves as our friends and saying that they're liberal. We understand you so much. We just want to help. There's no difference between that far right wing Republican conservative white man than that extreme left white female radical. They are the same people. You know, Hey, Sister Veronica, you've been missing from the dialogues lately. You know what I mean? Now I know why, because she heard me talk like this in a long time. Oh, okay. You get what I mean? What I'm saying? You know,
you just talking today, huh?
Yeah. I just say, well, you brought me in, man. You know, I'm not going to shut up for no conversation, and I'm not going to change who I am just because I'm don't want to step on no toes. Some toes need to be stepped on.
Absolutely,
man. Because we talking about, you got a grandson.
Two.
You got two. I have a granddaughter and I have one grandson who I have yet to meet.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I have 5 grown children and they all are extremely successful in their each individual things. But I got a lot of nephews, great nieces, and great nephews. I have a lot of friends who have children who look at me as uncle. I got brothers on the South Side, you get what I mean? And women on the South Side, man, who address me as uncle and big homie and stuff like that, man. Mm-hmm. This ain't about me as an individual.
Yeah.
It's about them.
No doubt.
And I can't sit down here, man, and soft shoot and soft pedal something that's going on when I know exactly what's going on. Yeah. I keep telling people, I go to the meetings. I read the literature. I'll see what's on the docket. I see what's on the agenda, what's coming on. So brothers around here, a lot of people, me and him, we square up time to time. Lee Tucson, right? That's my guy. We don't agree on ideological, on philosophical, on some things. But when it comes for defending and standing up for our community and our people, me and him is shoulder to shoulder, just with you. And he don't bite his tongue and neither do I. But if you come to my community and you're here to know, if you're here to do no harm, come on in, man. My man's, man. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But if you're coming over here surveying the land, trying to see what you can pick off for cheap, you're going to run into a problem with me, man. Yeah. And when you're trying to gather up my children, understanding that in the original tongue, man, that the elder, all the children in the tribe belong to him. There was no such term in the original tongue called uncle, aunt, niece, nephew. They were all children and we were all fathers, we're all mothers. So if you was in the circumference of us, the community, then my biological child and my non-biological child still got the same love all the way around because we were part of the tribe and the community. And I can't have this information and knowledge and sit back and just ignore everything. My spirit won't let me do this, man. I believe that when the roll is called, brother, that it's not going to be what me and you did, that we may have to go down to that fiery furnace. I ain't going there. Yeah. It's going to be because of what we didn't do. Yeah. See what I'm saying? What you didn't do. Ryan and Bryan, y'all know what the hell going on around here. Why y'all being quiet? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all being quiet? Y'all sitting in the back at the jazz festival eating ribs and macaroni, and I'm laughing with Deborah, Tracy, Vita, and Karen, right? Having a good time. Yeah. While the brothers on the South Side don't have an understanding of why they responding, reacting to the environment they're doing. And they run around here shooting up the houses and shooting up their homies and stuff like that because they just respond and react to the environment. They ain't bad kids. They living in a soil. Me and Melvin talked about this last week. We living in a soil that needs to be changed. Yeah. And you and I are farmers. Yeah. So anyway, Ear to the Ground 197 special Sunday edition. We kind of went over a little bit, man, with dialogue, just talking and everything, you know. And like man said, you know where I'm at, get at me. You want to see me. If you put it in, don't wait till I get off the screen and come talk to me. Put it in the chat, chat like y'all did then. You know what I mean? Give you know what I'm saying? Don't pull me to the side later on, because if you pull me to the side later on, because I see you out here looking, then you're going to get it in front of everybody. Then they're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. Okay? I try to be discreet, address the issues and not the individual, because what's happening here in Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor is happening on a grander scale in Detroit. How in the hell, let me say this and we're going to end with this. How in the hell did Sri Thanadar represent majority Black Detroit.
I don't think Detroit is sending a brother to Washington.
No brother representing a city that is 75 to 80% Black with no representation. How do you do that? But I'm gonna hit you with this right here. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I'm pro-Black on whoever has my best ideology and who has the best interest of Black folks. Mm-hmm. But if y'all Democrats don't get it together down here in Ypsilanti, Washington County, see them Republicans, they over there getting their stuff together. Mm-hmm. And y'all over here fighting around about some nonsense stuff. You get what I mean? Who got the biggest piece of chicken is what y'all arguing down here. Yeah. Come November, it's going to be some Republicans running this doggone state. And then they're going to really show you what white supremacy in your face is what it is, not hiding behind a liberal Democrat acting like that. Yeah. You know, real conversation.
Real conversation.
Yeah. And anyway, man, that might be a show for another kind, but I'm gonna let you get the final words on it as I key up my song. And y'all pay attention to this song. I play it every time. It's my theme song. It was made for me by brother Anthony Larkin out in Ann Arbor. You know what I'm saying? One of the most talented producers around here. And Alicia Reynolds, niece of LJ Reynolds of the Fabulous Dramatic. It's called Power to the People for a reason. Yeah. And I play it all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah, more power to the people. Anyway, brother, I'm gonna let you have a few words before I hit the.
Oh man, well, no, thanks, man. You know, I always dig, you know, come and chop it up with you, man. You know, ball season about to start, so on the weekends I'll be gone, man. Mm-hmm. But we're sticking to topic for today. Everybody, I would just say, man, let's make sure that we are getting involved, and even if you don't get involved in the politics, be informed about who is supposed to be representing you, represent your area, represent your district. I don't care if it's the delegate, I don't care if it's the commissioner, the mayor. Understand what's going on in the city, what's going on in the township, know the differences. I've been speaking with, Crystal Light. One thing that she was really adamant about is everybody in government knows where everybody else is.
Right.
So it should never be a situation to where you ever go to somebody and they can't direct you in the direction in which you need to go. Mm-hmm. If I need to talk to somebody in a township and I call the city, they should still be able to give me the information. So access to information has to be number one. Number two is I'm gonna ask you a favor. Mm-hmm. Okay. As soon as possible, we need to get more of these.
Okay.
Now, folks don't know what these are.
Well, tell them what they are.
These are your elected officials. Ypsilanti Township, the city, Pittsfield Township, and Superior Township. This lets you know everybody from the supervisor to the treasurer, to the clerk, to the trustees, to the district commissioners, state senators, state representatives. I mean, everybody in all the districts. This right here is how you hold people accountable. The first step is knowing who they are, knowing which office that they're in. Now, everybody gonna have a phone number, everybody gonna have an email. Sometimes they ain't gonna always answer it. But the vast majority, probably 99.8% of the people on these lists are right here in Ypsilanti. Yep. Now, Irwin's not here. I don't think Dingle is here. I'm not sure. But everybody's right here. Our elected officials are not out of reach.
Right.
We need to make sure they understand that I know you're not out of reach. Right. That's the thing.
Right.
That's where the power is going to come from, making sure that these elected officials know that I know you're not out of my reach. So let's get involved as soon as as Bryan can get us more of these for all your elected officials. Is it the 8th? November?
I'm not sure.
The election, I believe, is November 8th.
Okay.
I think it's going to be 8th, and that's for the commissioners, I believe.
Yes.
Make sure that you find out who in the Sam, as my mama would say, who the Sam hell you're voting for. know who you're voting for, and afterward, hold them accountable.
Yep.
Whatever that means.
Well, what Ryan was showing you, this was put together by an organization that I helped form. November 8th is what it's saying, because I helped form. It's called Ipsy Cannot Share. And what we do is we're nonpartisan, right? And what we do is share this information. What Bryan was showing you was empowerment cards. This is what's put together, supported by League of Women Voters, right? League of Women Voters. I'm putting you straight up and down. Yeah. I'm with League of Women Voters. And what they do is they simply gather the information on the candidates and they put it out there. A lot of information that I was sharing with y'all might have been thought I was picking, was made possible to me through the League of Women and Voters. Yeah, but these are empowerment cards, and I'm gonna get some more of them and everything like that. But this is what I haven't been showing this too much, you know what I mean, lately, because I tried to be not apolitical for a while. I really did, but I couldn't stay from out of that, man. Yeah. And if y'all think I was rough today, trust me when I believe you. I didn't even tell y'all half the reason, half of what's really going on, or what's done happened, or half the reason why the status quo is no more. But if we don't get out there and not only support those that we did endorse to make sure that they are getting there, these Republicans, and I'm neither Republican nor Democrat, but I have to look at the history of the party and what they've been doing right around here right now. They don't have our interests in hand. I'm going to tell y'all straight up and down. They're right now building, planning, and strategizing, and they will be in office. The Trumplicans. You get what I'm saying? I'm just
the Trumplicans.
And let me tell you something. They're deep. Yeah. They're deep. Yeah. Trust me, man. They're deep. Yeah. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up and down. And some anyway, I'm gonna leave some stuff alone. We're gonna more to be revealed. Anyway, y'all catch me next week. Hopefully we can get back to our regular scheduled time on Saturdays. But Ear to the Ground 197, like I said, is brought to you by If She Cannot Share, League of Women Voters, Blackstone Bookstore and Cultural Center, and Tracy's Sweet Touch Production, owned by Tracy Davis, my friend. So we had a good conversation right there. Yep. Before we know it, let's get it together. That's right, Karen. I'm gonna catch y'all next week. If y'all hear some noise in the background, that's because they holding church across the hall and stuff like that. But we'll see y'all next week. As my song says, I think I'm gonna let it ride on out. Power to the people. Yep. It's a lot of Hey, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes the conversation needs to get kicked off. Because I know people have opinions.
Yeah.
I know people believe certain stuff. I know people sometimes want to get involved, but they may not know when, how to get involved, or which lane to get in. So sometimes, man, we just gotta have the unapologetic conversation. And then inside of something that we say, they may be like, I'm on that, or yeah, I want to be a part of it, or okay, I'm gonna start holding them accountable. I'm gonna talk to certain people. So man, sometimes, man, people, and this is another thing I was talking to when I was talking to these different officials. I said you have different levels of people's involvement and understanding in politics.